Hi everyone, I just wanted to say a couple of quick things before this video starts. I filmed it a while ago, pretty soon after I found out we were pregnant with this current baby, which by the way, tried to make it obvious in the title, but this current baby is fine. This is a miscarriage we had previous to this current baby. Also, if sad things are triggering to you, I highly recommend you don't watch this unless you find it might be an encouragement to you. It's a very raw and real story. Well, I'm not exactly telling all the story, but it's still a very raw and real video, and I just didn't title that because that would be clickbait, and this is something very personal, and I'm not gonna use it to try to get views. I hope that this is an encouragement to someone out there. The reason I chose to post this video, I've debated a lot, is I remember right when I lost my baby, all of a sudden on YouTube, it kept popping up a bunch of the people I watched that, oh, they were having babies and it was exciting for them. And it was really hard for me. Not that I wasn't happy for them, but the way it looked was that their lives were just fine. Like, oh, you just get pregnant and you have a baby, right? And I guarantee you that there are a lot of women who have had miscarriages that don't talk about it. And that is totally fine. Like, you do not have to feel like you need to talk about it. But I didn't want to add to that silence in any way. If there's someone who watches my channel who is going through this or has been through this, and pregnancy and babies are a painful topic, I just want you to know that I am so sorry, and that there are a lot of people who just don't talk about it. Again, no shame to them, but I'm at a place now where yes, I still have hard days, but they're fewer and farther between. And if I can be a help to someone else who is going through it, going through the really hard part, I want to be there for them. So please keep those things in mind when watching this video. Thank you so much, and God be with you guys. So first of all, I just want to clarify that I'm not trying to say that I know exactly what you've been through, because I don't. And especially when you're grieving something, when someone says, I understand, and they don't, it can really cause a lot of pain. And I'm also not saying that I've been through the hardest. There are people who go through much more difficult situations, but miscarriage is hard. It's hard no matter who you are, or whether you've been pregnant or known for 1 hour, or whether it's been several months. And I just want to say, if you've been through it, I am so sorry that you had to go through that. This baby my husband and I are expecting later this year is not our first child. We lost a baby last Christmas. It was actually 2 or 3 days before Christmas last year. I'm not going to go into all the details or tell the entire story. Not that I'm afraid to, it's still really raw. That was only maybe 2 months ago. And it's, like I said, it's still raw, and I don't think it's profitable to share all those details on YouTube, but I'm totally okay like talking with people to share that, most specifically if it's another mom or young wife who either has gone through it or could potentially go through a miscarriage. It's a topic that some talk about a lot, but I honestly don't think it's talked about enough. I didn't know how common it is to lose your first baby. I kind of initially thought almost, what's wrong with me? You know, this is my first, I'm young, I'm healthy, this should be totally fine. But it wasn't. And I don't know, I guess I assumed, because my husband and I hope and pray for a decent amount of kids one day, that we'd eventually lose a baby. My mom's lost several, and I knew that was part of having children. I just didn't expect it to be our first one. And like I said, not that that makes it harder or easier. Honestly, from my perspective, and I'm not trying to push anything on you, I feel like it'd be harder if we already had kids because we'd know the joy of what it really is to have kids and be parents. But there's a lot of emptiness there because we are parents. As soon as you get pregnant, you are a mom or a dad, and nothing can take that away. But we don't have any kids here with us. And that hurts. It's very sad. And the house feels way too quiet. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna be a blubbering mess throughout this whole thing. I knew I would, but I wanted to talk about it anyways. And just like I said, if you've gone through this, I'm so sorry. I hope and pray that God's given you people in your life to speak healing words. He's given them words to speak. I know a lot of people say things that I'm sure they intend to say in a way that brings comfort, but sometimes they just say the wrong thing. And I've tried to look at it from that perspective of that they're trying to help, but sometimes the words still hurt. The one that made the least sense to me, I wouldn't say hurt me most because I knew it wasn't true, and now I know even more that it's not true, is when people would say, something along the lines of, well, who knows what God's gonna do in this next year? Like, basically, like, getting pregnant again is gonna change a thing. It hasn't changed a thing. I love this baby just as much as the last one. But it hasn't taken away any of the pain. I'd say if anything, because, you know, a good portion of my brain is being taken up with being excited and getting ready for this new baby, less of my brain is able to process the miscarriage. And time, if you're going through this right now, I'm not trying to hurt you, but time does bring some healing. Not completely, I mean, I'll never forget. I don't want to ever forget. But at least the sharpness of the grief and the pain isn't there anymore. Like I said, we're so excited for this baby too. It is hard though. I mean, I guess the giddy bouncing off the walls excitement is a little more difficult this time because last time I didn't expect to have a miscarriage. I tried to put that out of my mind completely, which I think is a good thing. I mean, if I had spent those, 7 weeks that I knew worrying, 6 weeks, it wouldn't have done me any good. It could have hurt things actually worse, and I still don't know why it happened. It was very sudden. I was very sick. Actually, I stopped posting for a while, like right around Christmas, for that reason. And I was just super sick. I thought, this is great, we're doing awesome. And then all of a sudden, so there's so many different stories. I've talked to a lot of moms, and I guess I just want to encourage you, obviously, if you've been through a miscarriage, especially if it's like recent, you don't have to talk to everybody about it, but please like share it with other young wives, moms. You never know what somebody's gone through. This will shock a lot of people. A lot of people I know like had no clue about this going on. Had no clue I was even pregnant. We wanted to wait a while, and I'm glad I did. I needed time. It was an interesting way that I processed, I guess. I just kind of wanted to shut out the world, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like now I'm definitely trying to get more into it, but I just kind of wanted to hide at home. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know, and this will come as a shock to a lot of people. Please don't be upset with me. It's just we've needed time. And now that we're pregnant again, I feel like it's easier to talk about, and hopefully it's easier for people to hear and not feel bad about, as in, I know it's hard to know what to say to people. I just had someone yesterday, I found out he lost his mom. I don't know what to say to him, even though I literally just went through grief. So I feel like hopefully it's easier for people to hear now and feel less bad about, or something along those lines. It was really hard and really sad. And I know that some people just try to slap a, but God is still good on it. and walk away, tie it off with a bow and just walk away. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. But just within your own heart, keep reminding yourself that God is good. Even if you're hurting and you realize that He let this happen. My mom told me that when I told her I was trying to remind myself that God is still good, she said, one day you won't have to remind yourself. You'll just know. And it's true. I'm honestly jealous of my kid. I mean, you know, some people don't believe that all babies go to heaven. I do. I see it in scripture. Not gonna go into it in this video, but I know my kid's way better off than I am. I just can't wait till I get to meet it. And when I'm there, my husband's there, there won't be any more crying. There won't be any more sadness. Because Jesus is going to wipe away every tear, and I know that. And even in the hardest parts, I knew that God was there. So if you feel alone, if you feel Him there, if you don't, I'm just praying that you know that He's there, and that He's not going to leave you. If you're His child, He's never going to leave you or forsake you, no matter how bad it gets. No matter how painful or traumatic it becomes, or how hard you grieve, He can handle your anger. I'm not saying you should lash out at God, because, like I said, He has a reason for everything He does, but there is anger often involved in grief, and as my mom told me, God can handle it. Granted, I'm not a grief counselor or anything even close to that, so don't take my word as that seriously, I guess, but I'm just thankful that I have a gracious God. And honestly, I know that He wants what's best for my kid and me. And I know that once we meet and know this baby that's coming, we're gonna be thankful somehow that this happened so that we could have this kid in our lives. Losing a baby is such a strange thing because you miss someone terribly that you've never even met. And please don't feel crazy. I know I kind of felt crazy sometimes. Please, if you're going through this or you've been through this, please don't blame yourself. There's always guilt, or not always, there's often guilt associated with grief, and I have my own things that I feel guilty about. I feel like I didn't celebrate it enough in the moment. There's literally one picture of me pregnant. That's it. And I wrote like 2 journal entries or something. And then yeah, I wish I'd celebrated more among other things. And I'm trying to let that go. And I thank God for His grace. Not that like it's a sin that I didn't celebrate it enough, you know, but I still feel bad as a mom, which is weird to say I'm a mom when there's no kids running around anywhere. But please don't blame yourself. And this is a weird one, but just, if there's any doctors watching this, I don't know if this is normal or not, but please, when you're talking to a mom who's losing a baby or has just lost a baby, please never use the words unviable or abortion, like telling them that their body aborted it. Yes, that happened to me. Because, I mean, and then saying, oh, it wasn't your fault. It sends some mixed signals. Thank God I knew that the way they said it wasn't what it sounded like. But think about, if there's a young mom out there who doesn't have a mom who's taught her these things, how much emotional damage that could do. So please, I'm sure there's legal reasons you have to say all that stuff, but if you could possibly word it differently, please do, for the sake of their emotional health and well-being later on, because those words will stick with you. And if you've had doctors say those words, please hear me out. Your child was a human being, a gift from God. God gave it life. Don't listen to what they said. It was a viable human being because God created it. And God sustained that life as long as it was alive, whether that was for a short or a long period of time. Just ignore that, please. It's so ridiculous. Maybe there's a reason they have to say it, like I said, but it just makes no sense to me. I've heard stories of moms who have lost up to 11 babies, and I honestly can't even imagine what that must be or feel like. Whether you've lost 1 or 20, I just want to, like I said, I'm sorry. And I hope that God brings you healing soon, or has brought you healing. I hope that God fills your house with joy and laughter. Although I know that more babies will not change the pain of the one you've lost. No one's going to feel it quite like you, other than maybe your husband. And that can hurt too. But know that God feels your pain, and He knows every tear that falls. He knows every detail about your baby. He created that life on purpose. And for some reason, He allowed it to happen, that you lost that life, but it was still a gift for the time we had it. Anyways, I don't know if this has helped anybody at all, or maybe it's just helped me. But thanks for watching. I'm praying for you guys. Excited to meet this new baby. Just praying that everything goes well, goes fine this time. And I'm just so thankful that God brought us through that. And I hope that my marriage is stronger for it. I hope I'm more thankful for the children that, Lord willing, God does give us. I hope that He holds you close, especially if you're going through this right now, or if it's been a while and it still hurts, or you've buried it. Someone told me, you can't go above, around, or underneath grief. You have to go straight through it. So please feel free to go through it. And I'm praying that God surrounds you with a lot of wonderful people to help you. Whatever you're going through in life, if you're a child of God, He's going to sustain you through it, and He's going to use it to refine you and sanctify you throughout it. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.